Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another Jester Ranks Off. This time we're looking at the art res of Scarlet and Violet, and I know we're a set behind, but I'm catching up. It's been a while since I've had any time to just sit and record. So, intro out the way, let's get straight on with it, shall we? We've got a new setup too. OBS, slideshows, we're making things happen, making things look cooler. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's start off with Armor Rouge. Big fan of Armor Rouge here. I think I'm picking up the vibes of Armor Rouge, checking the weather's okay, finding out that it's actually not okay. It's a bit rainy out there, and I don't know how Armor Rouge works. I don't know if it's a Charmander kind of situation where the fire, if it goes out, you know, not alive anymore. Anyway, Armor Rouge, loving the art on this one, loving the vibes. I'm giving it a to begin with. Next up we have Arven. I quite like the Arven card. It's got some vibes to it. Now, the problem with this card is it's like a couple other cards that I find hard to rank, where it's a two-parter, which doesn't really work with Pokemon cards, at least in my opinion. I think you're only getting like half of the story, and while you can appreciate the art style, especially if you get both the cards, you can kind of go, this is a great story. It kind of loses a little bit just by being its own card. So for that reason, unfortunately, Arven is going to have to find himself in C. Next up, Bombardier. I'm not a fan of this Pokemon's design. It's a bit weird. It's got like this weird flap thing going towards his beak, which is part of it. Like, it's part of the Pokemon. I don't really like what's going on there. Just flying above the sky. Art style's kind of like, whatever. Not a big fan. I am going to have to throw it out to C as well. Next up, we have Clauncher. Loving the vibes on this card. I've actually seen this card in real life, and I nearly said twice, like it's a mystery. I have it somewhere stacked. It's a really nice card. I really enjoy the vibes, and you can't really see it as well on this screen, but like the effect of it, the shiny, the hollow effect of it looks really good. Again, I've talked about this on another video, but like the Pokemon really does stand out really well against the hollow. I'm gonna give Clauncher deserves an A, I think. I think that's a fair place for Clauncher. Next up, Dolive. Again, it's a meh Pokemon. There's nothing really to write home about on this one, but I appreciate the story going on here, you know. Dolive picking the olives. Does that not feel a bit cannibalistic? Oh, but it does look like a nice card. It's very chill. Nothing offensive. I'm gonna throw it into B. Next up, Dondozo. Again, a card I've seen in real life, and it is absolutely beautiful. I would have this as a wallpaper. I would have this on my phone background. I would have it as my profile picture if I look like a fish. I think it's a very nice card. I'm gonna throw that into A. Actually, S. That's our first S. Drowsy next. It's an interesting one, because I'm not usually that big a fan of this artist, which is going to come up in the next set. But I like what's going on here. The main issue I have with this artist and their art style is like, it's very busy. There's a lot going on in the card. You can't really always pick out what's going on. I'm enjoying this one because the highlight is like, with the street lamp, is on Drowsy. You can really see the Pokemon clearly compared to the rest of the background. This is probably the best, like, Kamiya? I don't want to get the name wrong. The best card that this artist has produced, at least in my mind so far. I'm going to put Drowsy, I think Drowsy in A. I think Drowsy's a well-deserved A. Fido next, and again, a little bit cannibalistic in a way. Fido, obviously, a dough-based Doge. Looking at the pastries in wonder and amazement, astonishment, maybe upset, maybe not happy about seeing what actually happens to dough-based entities, generally speaking, but it's a really nice card. I quite enjoy it. It's chill. I'm gonna give it a B. That's the next one. God, what EX? Again, part of the story. I don't know if I enjoy story cards all that much. I may be contradicting some I've said previously, there's a solid chance, but I think again, it's like the half art cards. Like, you don't really get the full story unless you see all of it. You kind of have to like judge them on their own in this context. It's a nice card, don't get me wrong. I definitely appreciate the vibes, but I don't think it's like that special. I don't think there's really, I don't know, it doesn't do as much for me as some other people, is probably the best way to describe it. For me, it's kind of, it's a B compared to other art rares. I think is the best way to go about this. Next up, Great Tusk. This is actually like a really, really nice card. I actually really enjoy this art style as well. I love a Pokemon art style that's just like the Pokemon in its like, you know, natural habitat, just looking really cool. I'm gonna put the Great Tusk into A. Greavard, first of our dog Pokemon in art rares. I like this. There's some nice, I know I keep saying the phrase, nice vibes here. Greavard having his toys all around him of other ghost Pokemon in a Pokeball. I'm seeing Drifloon, I'm seeing Ghastly, I'm seeing Gengar. I'm seeing maybe Dusk Noir in the chest on the bottom right there. Yeah, I really like this. It's a really nice vibes to it. I keep saying vibes, and maybe I'll come up with some new words before too much longer. Greavard, I think, is definitely an A tier card. Iron Tread's up next, and again, it's quite a nice card, actually, in real life. The sky is actually like quite shiny and glittery. It's a really nice card. The Pokemon itself is very, who cares? But as judging it as an art rare, I think it's a really, really nice card. I'm going to pop that today. Next, the first of our trainers, Jacques. A card... text and you know, the card itself aside, it's a nice art style. It's nothing too special compared to some of the other art rares and trainers that we're going to have coming up. So Jack, I think, is a solid B. King Gambit, I think, is a nice card as well. There's a lot going on here, and it doesn't necessarily make sense. If you don't know, King Gambit, Bisharp, and Pawniard are all based on chess pieces. I'm no expert. I don't think you get 3 rows of pawns in chess. So for factual inaccuracies, that is going to go into C tier. Next up, Curlier. Similar kind of concept to the God of War. Compared to the other Pokemon, I don't think, or other art rares, I don't think this is brilliant. But I think it's probably the best of this series. I love the fact that the little baby there has the Ralts onesie. That's really cool. I really enjoy that. There's a little Ralts toy at the bottom there as well. It's the vibes on this one, I think, for some reason to me, are better than the God of War and the Ralts one. So we're going to throw that into A. Next up, Cloth. It's cool. I'm just not a big fan of the art style. I'm probably going to throw that straight into C. It's not offensive, just not really one I care about all that much. Koraidon is a really nice card. I'm loving the jungle aesthetic going on for Koraidon here. Feels very, you know, a Land Before Time-ish. I'm not sure what the Dene's doing there. The Dene being there kind of throws it off a little bit for me. I don't know why. It makes it feel like, you know, it's supposed to be in the way back when. I feel like the Denes weren't just running around back then. I don't know. It just, something about it just throws off the whole card for me, which is going to put it into B. Bostiff, this is the other side of the Arven card. I quite like this. If you've played the game, you know the story of Mabustiff. He gets stronger the more he eats sandwiches, which is a very simple way of describing what goes on in the story. But it's a nice enough card. I like the art style. But again, because it is missing the other part of the story, I think we are going to have to throw it into C. And I'm going to have to explain myself a little bit here. They aren't technically 2 parts of the same card, but it is effectively the same story. If you do compare Arven to Mabustiff, it's the same scene from different angles and different artists. It's nice though. I like it. Miraidon EX up next, and this is such a cool card. Like, Miraidon is whatever, but the actual card itself, the cityscape going on, the dash button, is it? Just going, excuse me, sir. It's really cool card. Loving the cyberpunk aesthetic to it. It's going to go up to C. Next up is Miriam. A lot of people have got this down as a chase card. I do like it. It is cool. And I never really noticed until now, but the background feels almost a bit like a Grand Theft Auto cover, in the way it's got like different scenes and like boarded off. It looks really cool. I like this card a lot. Do I think it's S tier? No, I think it's A tier, but it's a cool card. I get why people like it. I really do. Pachirisu is up next. It's a nice art style. Very focused on the Pachirishus, which, you know, everything should be. Pachirisu is a very cute Pokemon. It's just, yeah, chill, nice. I like it. Throw it into B. Throw it into B. Next up is Pawmot. Similar again. I like the art style. It's a nice card. It's a chill card. You got all of the evolutions there as well, which is like a nice inclusion, but I don't know if I'm just missing something. I don't remember Pawmot being associated with chilling on hay bales, I'm going to be honest. But, you know, it's for an art rare. It's a good standard. It's going to go into B. Next up is Penny. The Penny card is so nice in real life. It's got a very glittery effect to it. I'm loving the art style on it. Penny's just vibing. She's having a great time. We're going to throw this into A. Ralts, again, similar story to the God of War cards and all that stuff. It's cool. I like it. It's very simple, very easy design. We're just going to throw that straight into B. Ryulu, oh, I love this. He's just been a naughty little puppy and just like destroyed the place. But the problem is he's super strong. It's the nightmare that everybody has always not wanted to see. Hate the fact there's a Medicham in the background there. That's upsetting. Never noticed that until today. Hate that. But otherwise, very, very cute. It's one of my favorite cards from the set, I think. I'm going to throw that into A. Next up is Sandile. And again, you need to see this in real life to really appreciate it. But it's such a cool card. It's almost like real life-ish in the way that Sandile would be hiding in the sand like this. Obviously, you never really get to see that in the games and stuff like that. But it looks really cool. I really, really enjoy this card. It's going to go to S. Next up, Scovillain. I feel like this Pokemon deserves a bit more respect. I'm going to be honest. I think it's a really cool idea of a Pokemon. The card itself is fine. It's not my favorite, but yeah, it's a cool Pokemon. We're going to throw that into C. Next up is the card that if you have ever seen Arceus Giratina, you should definitely be familiar with. That is Squirvit. You don't really see squirrels curled up on the chairs very often. It's more of a dog or a cat thing. I'm really appreciating it. It's cool. It's nice in real life as well. I like the watercolor effect, but it's not my favorite art style, so I'm gonna throw Squirvit into B. Slowpoke now, and what can you say? It's such a cool guy. It's just a derpy boy. It's like he's accidentally wandered into someone's garage and just gone slow, and then just like gone, all right, yeah, this isn't my home, and just decided to start carrying on his way. Loving the street. Love the art style to it. It's definitely an A. Now this is a bit of a weird one because the second part of this card is coming up, and this is a true like half art card. This is Spidops. Spidops in this card series is using a tarantula to lure a Scyther into the nest. And I'm gonna be honest, right? The way Spidops has got that string between his legs, it looks like he's about to garrot the Scyther, which seems very aggressive. It's absolutely fine card. I don't think it's anything too exciting to write home about. It's probably going to be a C tier. Loving the vibes on the Starly card. They're just a bunch, a herd, a flock of Starly, having a great time, munching on berries. Very, very cool. We're going to throw that into A. It's a very, very nice card. Tarantula, as mentioned, it's the other half to the Spidops card. I'm going to throw that straight into C for the same reasons. I don't think it's that nice a card, especially by itself. It's not that cool a card. It's just kind of plain and boring, honestly. It's probably like the worst art. In fact, you know what? It might be our only D. It's not great, I'm going to be honest. Next up is Toadschool. That's right, they gave Tentacool legs, and now he's zip zooming. Very cool card. Love the aesthetic. Love the colors on it as well. Really, really nice. We're going to throw that into A. And finally, Wiglet. Again, a very nice card. When you see it in real life, the background being shiny is really cool. Kay has never noticed this, and I'm sure she's going to be upset that she hasn't. There is a Psyduck in this. There's also a Slowpoke. There's a Skrelp, a Love Disc, a Marini, I think, as well. It's really cool. I like the card a lot. I think it's going to have to go into A. Yeah, this has been such a good set so far for the art rares, not the alt arts as I keep wanting to say. So let's go through them real quick, tell you where everything came. Ignore the threes. I'm having to use hotkeys to do the slides. So in D tier, we have one, and that is Tarantula. C, we have Arven, Bombardier, King Gambit, Clorf, Bustiff, Scovillain, and Spidops. B, we have Dolive, Fido, Gardevoir, Jack, I can't even tell who it is based on this, Koraidon, Pachirisu, Pawmot, Ralts, and Squirvit. A tier, we have Armarouge, we have Clauncher, Drowsy, Great Tusk, Grievard, Iron Treads, Ralts, Curlier, Miriam, Penny, Ryolu, Slowpoke, Starly, Toadschool, and Wiglet. You can tell it's good, can't you? There's that many in A. And in S tier, we have Dondozo, Miraidon, and Sandile. Very cool. I love these cards so much. And again, it's hard to rank them badly. You kind of have to remember they're going against each other. So the ones even in B and C are still really nice cards. They're just, man, you have to rate them against themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. I'm going to do the next one straight after this, so there will be 2 tier lists going up, and I might do another one yet as well. I've got an idea for another tier list. We'll see. But until the next one, guys, thank you very much for watching. All my social media links are in the description below, and until the next one, thank you for watching. I shall see you in that next one. See ya.